This lecture I am going to cover about loops. While loop. JavaScript loops are used to repeatedly run a block of code until a certain condition is met. When developers talk about iteration or iterating over, say, an array, it is the same as looping. JavaScript offers several options to repeatedly run a block of code, including while, do while, for, and for in. Now you will learn about HTTP requests using jQuery. Let's look at HTTP requests using jQuery. The first thing we need to do is install jQuery into our package JSON file. What we do that from the command line calling npm install jQuery, that will pull down and the latest version of it, and then once we have jQuery loaded into node modules, we need to import it into our JavaScript. So we have the import statement, and it's traditional to use the $sign for jQuery, and we don't need the curly brackets around the dollar, which is just a simple variable name because jQuery has its own default export. So when we use jQuery, we can go ahead and just use $, and the method on $, is get to do a simple HTTP get. We pass it the URL and we pass it a success handler. We will simply log out the data right here, and while this works, it's not the best way to use the get method. This method returns a promise, so we can go ahead to use that. So when we call $, get will save it to the local variable promise. We'll set up our handlers with promise, then and this function will get called on a success, and this function will get called on an error. Let's see this in Visual Studio Code. I already installed the npm package with npm install jQuery. We can just verify that it's there. I will go to package JSON, and the dependencies we see jQuery right here, and I will update it and ID so we can use the mock service that I am using. So now look at the loop example. See heading JavaScript while loop, and paragraph is ID demo. When I greater than 0, then print the number. Here you can show another loop example. See JavaScript for loop. Then see some car name. Those are BMW, Volvo, Saab, Ford, Fiat, Audi,